Hi everyone, Russ Douglas 222 here, hope you're all well. This video introduces myself and Bruce, that's Phoenix on the UK Night Vision forum. Recorded in his man cave about a month ago because when I'd first got the Pard008S-LRF, there was the firmware, there was a little bit of a lag issue with the refresh rate. We fed that back to Sportsman Gun Centre. Thanks very much to everyone there, Abu and his team, and that was very quickly sorted. And I believe the current firmware is still 2022-0520. I took the Pard008S and my older Pard008-LRF to Bruce so he could see for himself the footage, and basically there were no lag issues. Here's the video. So this is Bruce looking at comparing the old Pard008-LRF on V1.25 firmware, and over here on the left the new Pard008S-LRF on the 2022-0520 firmware.
Okay, I'm not seeing any detailed difference. When I look at the air brick, I can't see any more detail with one than the other, which is really what it should be.
Yep.
There's a bit more colour saturation. Colours are more saturated, that's the correct term, on the LRF, on the new one than in the old one.
Yep.
Although I think I prefer that the colours in the old one are still a bit more natural.
Right.
That's a personal preference. I think some people might like that the other way around.
So the newer Pard, they look a little bit more vivid, do they?
Yeah, I would say so, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And can you see, is there enough breeze, any trees moving at all there? And you can compare, see if there's any daytime lag.
Now the last time with this, there was a lot of lag. I'm not seeing any lag now.
Right, and so that was new. Pard had a lot of lag on the older firmware.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any difference in the way those branches and the trees move with the wind between either one.
Cool.
That's a big. Yeah. It's.
So both are recording, so I can put both on screen in a second, so you can see viewers what Bruce sees. But this is the first time Bruce has had a chance to look through the Pard008S-LRF since the firmware was updated at the end of May.
I'm thinking back to what this looked like the first time I saw through it. This is a big improvement.
Cool.
Yeah, that looks totally natural now. I'm not seeing anything. I'm looking at one particular branch and leaves moving up and down, and it looks absolute. I'm not seeing any jitteriness in the image that I did see the last time. So they certainly seem to have resolved that issue. That's good. Good.
Excellent.
Well done.
Excellent.
Yep. And you showed me the ballistic calculator working earlier on this morning. That's pretty impressive. Yeah.
So next I'll be popping, when I get home, I'll be ready for the club tonight. I'll be popping the old Pard here on the right back on my FX Maverick 177 FAC, get that zeroed at 30 meters and 50 as well. And on the new Pard, I'll pop that on the new FX Impact M3 22 FAC and get that zeroed at 50 meters. And then soon I'll be doing testing beyond 50, hopefully out to nearly 100 meters. So you're stopping the recording, yeah?
No,
or are you zooming them? Right.
I want to look at that. I want to look at the leaves moving again.
The adjustable iris on the Pard on the left, the 008S, can you just have an eyeball from the front and double check that the iris is fully open? Yeah, all the way there, yeah. Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Cool. I don't want to... Oh, you're testing how much the iris affects it. That's something I've not had a chance to do yet.
It's compensating. The camera is compensating up to about that point there. There's no between there and fully open. There's no difference in the image. The camera can compensate for it. It's not any sharper. I'm not seeing any difference in depth of field either. Why is it at that point? It's doing about 8 mil.
8 mil.
Yeah, bulk maybe 10. So when I come down to about there. I'm doing the 4mm. It's not getting enough light.
Right.
So I mean, that's fair
That
enough.
just shows.
It's dull today as well. If it had been sunny, it would probably still be okay at that.
Yeah. It shows how sensitive modern digital cameras are.
Oh, hell.
Modern sensors are hell of a sensitive
I mean,
things.
even at that, I can still see the holes in the air brake. Not as sharp as I could with it.
Oh, right.
Up a bit.
And that's with quite a small hole then, yeah?
Yeah.
Let's have a look from the
I'm
front.
losing it. I lose the air brake there, and that's it fully closed. I lose the holes in the air brake there. Right, and that's it doing almost a pinhole size.
Yeah.
If I open up the shader to there, I can see the holes in the air brake. There's enough light. And I say it's a kind of dull, overcast day.
Yeah.
So the camera can compensate for quite a lot, really.
Yeah. Quite impressive.
Yeah, quite impressive. Quite
Excellent.
impressive.
Well, I'll make this a short little video,
Right.
comparison video with the two scopes, old and new, and now that the new one's got the Pard008S-LRF has got the 0520 firmware on it.
I would say that has made a huge difference.
Yeah.
I really didn't like it before, Russ.
Yeah.
I really was disappointed in it.
Yeah.
What's someone else here? This is an original, isn't it?
This is a Pard008S-LRF, and it's the pre-P version.
Yeah. Before they changed it to the OLED display.
Yes.
Aye. You've still got more. This is what I would call a bigger eye box. You can move your eye behind here more without the image distorting
Right.
than you can with it.
Okay.
The one when they went to the OLED display, it was a smaller display.
Yeah.
So they use a bigger, higher, longer focal length lens,
Right.
which gave you that sort of fisheye effect.
Yeah.
As you say, you need to get your eye right into it.
Yes.
If you're standing off it in any way at all, then it fisheyes.
Yeah. So with having that smaller display with magnified by slight lens, it's not really a scope you can have on a recoiling rifle, is it? You get yourself a black eye.
You get eye.
'Cause you're right.
You've got the rubber cuts folded right back. But
Yeah, well, that's how I like to have them.
yeah, but when I bring my eye into there, I'm basically using the underside of my eyebrow and the side of my nose.
That's exactly what I do when I'm shooting.
To hold my eye in position.
Yeah, exactly what
And
I
at
do.
that point, I've got absolutely zero distortion with the image. I can see all four corners of the display.
Yeah,
And I've got no distortion whatsoever.
that's why I do it, because if I'm shooting rats in a barn, I want to see all four corners so I don't miss something
Yep.
moving around when I'm doing pest control.
But this is the problem with all digital scopes that use a near eye display. You've got to get your eye close enough to the display to be able to see it all, so you get a distortion-free image.
Yeah.
And that means you lose eye relief, which
Yeah.
puts you at risk of getting whacked with a
Yes.
recoiling rifle.
Well, thankfully PCP air rifles, no recoil,
That's
so
right. That's right.
these are perfect. Excellent. Well, when I've done all my testing, I might at some point sell my second 008-LRF and buy a second Pard008S-LRF now that it's proven itself with this new firmware, because obviously the ballistic calculator is a great thing to have, and I've got two different rifles, two different calipers, both FAC, and I would like to have the benefit of the ballistic calculator on both of them. So now that Pard have improved the firmware, there is still, as I said to you earlier, I explained earlier, there is still an issue where below 6-7 meters you're getting a bit of overestimation of the ballistic calculator holdover, but I know about it, I can compensate for it, and they might yet fix that if they bring out another firmware update. But yes, I think the days of the older Pard might be numbered in favour of the ballistic calculator.
I think so. I think now that they've got this firmware sorted out to get the image back to what it was, the ballistic calculator was always good. I think you never really had any issues with the ballistic calculator when it first appeared. The problems were with the image. They seem to have got that sorted out now. So yeah, I think that this new S-LRF would be the one to have if you're buying a Pard.
Yeah.
You know, it's such a good. There's no point in having an LRF without a ballistic calculator when you can have an LRF with a ballistic
Yes,
calculator.
and also this fella, if I just compare these side by side,
Oh yeah.
the old one stands up higher and it's bulkier. And you have those issues with when the battery gets low, you get interference, and when the battery gets low and you switch the LRF on the old one, you get some audio interference.
Well, I was going to ask you about that. What's the audio like in this one? Do you still have to unscrew the cap off it, or what?
I do still unscrew the cap because I believe the microphone is still under there, so you can't be recording audio when it's pouring with rain. You've got to leave that on. But the footage from the store where I did some pest control the other day, I can hear in the distance. I shot a pigeon at about 25 meters off the top of a beam, and I heard in the distance, I heard the yay when it fell off, because the manager was chuffed that it had died, and then it managed to dislodge itself from the nest, hit the ground, stone dead, and it was basically easy to recover.
I was going to ask you, let me hit the LRF here. Did you have to adjust the position of the yellow box, or is it LRF flashes bang on?
I haven't done so, but I haven't really analysed it that closely, to be honest. I've only recently, in the last week, been using the new Pard008S-LRF on nighttime pest control. I'm not so happy that it's a fat, chunky, horizontal LRF beam when you look at the flash, compared to the older Pard's precise, sharp, vertical LRF splash. But I can live with it. To have a working ballistic calculator, I can live with it.
Yeah, as long as you can get a good return from the laser beam to get a range and let the ballistic calculator do its thing, then
yeah, and with this fella, it's so much more compact. Literally, I can put that on my bullpup rifle, air rifle, zip up the zip on my rucksack and gun slip, and it fits. You know, it used to be a real struggle with this to get the zip fastened over the top, but the new one is more compact, and yeah, it does almost everything. It does almost everything. I'm very happy with that now. You're happy with the image and with the lack of lag now?
Oh yes, I'm certainly feel that there's a big improvement.
Yeah, excellent.
Big improvement.
Excellent.
I don't know what's it like at night now.
The video, which will hopefully go live tonight, starts with me shooting 5 rats in a barn out to 36 meters, but the footage is a little bit on the grainy side because I left the IR light low. I left it dispersed and low, just so that the rats would, there was hopefully no chance they'd get spooked. Whereas if I'd concentrated the beam and turned the IR up, it would have been floodlit, and
they might have gone,
and I could have scared them away. The reason I was there was to shoot rats for the farmer.
Yeah.
So that's the priority.
Yeah. Yeah.
And getting the footage is always a bonus, but it's a bonus. Excellent. Thanks very much, Bruce.
No problem.
Thanks for your opinions.
That's good.
Cheers.
That's good.
Thanks very much for watching. Coming up very soon, I'm going to be using the Hike Micro Griffon GH35L thermal spotter with LRF. That's the module on the side here. Be using that on my regular permissions for rats, feral pigeons and rabbits, and then Bruce will be trying it on his foxing rounds, and then I'll meet Bruce in his man cave to go over that. So that's coming very soon too. Cheers. Thanks for watching. Take care.